Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today's episode is one of those good show and tell episodes. And today, I'm going to go over some more art books. So before we begin, I want to remind you to go down below, click like, and click subscribe. If you like, you can leave a comment below. You know, YouTube always likes those things to help the algorithm. And if you'd like to support me financially, I also have the super thanks button I've activated as well. There's the links below for the PayPal and the Patreon. Now, I do have a special section of episodes available to the subscribers and to the supporters of the channel. These are basically episodes of things that I cannot post on YouTube here, and they, has special content that YouTube does not like. I have all the episodes of the history of fan anime put into a spreadsheet. It's put into sort of book chapter form order. So again, all the related episodes are put together for you, much better and much easier to use than trying to use the YouTube search algorithm. As well as also have another file dedicated to all the special episodes that are not available on YouTube. Again, available to all the subscribers and the supporters for the channel. Okay, so again, check that out. Links are below. Now, in today's episode, we're going to go over some art books. So again, going through my archives, I've came across another stack of art books of particular note. So again, we're going to go through those ones and see what cool things that we see in some of these art books that we used to have. So, without further delay, let's begin. Alright, the first book we're going to put out is Heavy Metal L-Gaim, and this is the made by New Type magazine, and it's part of the 100% New Type series. And these magazines are really nice because they contain a lot of good information about L-Gaim. So nice little picture for L-Gaim there. Lots of good illustrations, mechs and that kind of stuff. So it goes over the different storylines and pictures from the various different series, outlining different characters and whatnot from the series. And again, very heavy emphasis on the mechs and that kind of stuff from the series, as well as the characters. Sort of a frame of the opening title sequences, and a lot of you like this part is the the interview and that kind of stuff with the actual designers and that kind of stuff. A lot of people like that information, and this is the this part is probably one of the best parts, is where they actually go and show you the hand drawings of all the different mechs, because again, they give you so much details in both mech design and whatnot. There's also lots of detail on character design here and how the characters are drawn, different angles and that kind of stuff. These books are like extremely valuable for this kind of information. Not only just trying to get the names right, but also how they're drawn and whatnot.
お待たせロリ。私が白鳥玲子でございます。私の名前を知らないなんてへそが茶を沸かしちゃいますわ。マスター、あなたは命の糸の束をお取りになるのです。
And again, some more interview and information about the series and whatnot, and the OVA series. Now, one of probably the most important parts about this particular book is it has an encyclopedia of the Pentagon world. So again, this is sort of more information about the sort of the environment and that kind of stuff, that the background, the history, very, very complex information, because there was a lot going on, a lot of maybe crossover from maybe Aura Dunbine. And maybe even a crossover from like 5-star stories, because again, Nagamo did a lot of work for this particular series, and so he had formatted a very big world design all set out. Okay, and then of course the episode list. This came in really handy, because when I was getting episodes of L-Gaim, they weren't in order, so the only way I could figure out what episode number was is I had to wait for the episode title to show up, and then figure out, okay, then that corresponds to this episode number, so that I know how to label it in the in the tape. So that definitely was helpful. And of course, the back spine is really important, because that always shows you what other books in that particular series, so that if you wanted to order them, you can go to back to the bookstore and get those ordered in for yourself. Okay, it's a very nice book. Heavy Metal L-Gaim. the next book is the Artmic Design Works. Now, this is a really rare and kind of hard to get book. It's made by B Club Special, and it covers all the works done by Artmic. And what's neat about this book is that it covers a wide range of different sort of animes, starting from like Bubblegum Crisis. There's Gal Force, Megazone 23. Even things like the Wannabes. Okay, they're all in here. So let's go over some of the stuff they have. So basically, this one starts off with a nice poster, which is a really kind of cool thing here. So it's an all-star touring poster that shows so everyone in casual dress. So everything from your Bubblegum Crisis is Megazone 23. Gal Force is in there, so they're all kind of mixed in there. You kind of have fun trying to figure out where they're all going. And then here, of course, is the sort of the fun sketch there. So the various different catalogs of different things that they've released and whatnot. Okay. Techno Police 21C. Okay. So some artwork and that kind of stuff, different character design. They also do Genesis Climber Mospeada, which is the last part of the Robotech series. Okay, so they did some of the character design works on that one. Again, this is really nice at this time. Getting this kind of valuable drawing and how the ships and that kind of stuff, and even the proper naming of all the vehicles and that kind of stuff was really neat. First time we saw transformable motorcycles in this sort of thing. Very, 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 very valuable information in this text. Okay. So yeah, again, more detailed design of this. And again, this is just like invaluable. They also did some Megazone 23. So again, there's a big article section of different artwork and that kind of stuff from the series here, as well as the technical drawings for the Garland and some of the vehicles and that kind of stuff that was in the show. Okay. Different machines, plus some of the machines and the mech people and whatnot for Megazone. He also did the second part for Megazone 23 Part 2, so some of the upgraded enhancements to that in this Part 2 here. So some conceptual drawings and whatnot, and of course what's going on in Megazone 23. Then they also did Golfers. Okay, so here's the information from that. So they had their hand in a lot of different works and that kind of stuff. So again, stuff from the Starleaf, the mechs, that kind of stuff I had from. Now, one of the biggest ones that they probably really worked on that really a lot of people got into was Bubblegum Crisis. So this is their work that they did on that. Very, very cyberpunkish, Neo Tokyo type of thought there. So again, how they did all the motor slaves and the hard suits and that stuff there. And then they continued on for doing Bubblegum Crisis. They did Metal Skin Panic Madox. Okay. Dragon's Heaven, which is another really really artful that. The Wannabes, which is the female wrestling one. So they jumped around. This is their version of the Captain Power. So that was the one that they the modeling for the gun and whatnot. And so a whole bunch of different sort of designs and that kind of stuff for even that. They even did one of the Pink Noise OAVAs, which is Call Me Tonight. So a little bit on the smut side. Some mech designs and that stuff for Extra 1. Okay. There you go. Some conceptual drawings for how the Macross and that kind of stuff was done. The Mega Road, right? Some interesting pictures of the Wizard of Oz. Oops. Sci-fi design. So a whole bunch of different things that they've worked on in their series there. So Gal Force. Okay. Then they also go into the basically toys and different computer games and whatnot. So these are games for both of the MSS computer and the Famicom game systems for Gal Force. There's a whole bunch of Mospeada toys, so actual transformable, alpha and beta fighters or whatever you want to call them, and that. Um, you know, and here's the cute one, the Robo Dachis, and also so like the Tomogachis. They got the Robo Dachis. So a really big popular thing was, of course, Gal Force, garage kits, and of course, the different mall kits and that kind of stuff for them. Right, and all the various different sort of toys and that kind of stuff that they sort of were released part of that. Now the illustration part's always good because that also gives you lots of what they were working on and doing the designs for. So again, a lot of the stuff for Macross, there's all the stuff for Mospeeda. Again, used a lot in like covers for the model kit boxes, Laserdisc boxes. Some of the designs that I did for Megazone 23. A lot of pictures for Gal Force here. A lot of them were used for, like, for example, like that. Like I have the poster for that one. So again, that Bubblegum Crisis. Again, a lot of these covers are for the Laserdiscs, and of course, this one's used for the CD covers. Okay. And other works that they work on. These are all the logos and that kind of stuff that they made for all the various different animes. And again, their staff, which is always really neat to see how the layout of their office was. That's always really interesting, and different things going on within their company. So it's really kind of a final notes on that, because I said Artmic doesn't exist anymore. So it's just kind of a neat sort of history of the company that is known for some of the iconic animes that we know. Artmic Design Works. Okay, the next one I'm doing is this one here. It's called the Toshiro Hirano Character Works. Now this guy is of course known for Dangayo and Ixir 1. And this one is, like I said, this is one of the very first art books I really got. And this is just a beautiful artwork. So again, manufactured from Bandai, and it starts off with a lot of depiction pictures for like Ixir 1 and Dangayo. A very super popular picture from the front cover. Again, I remember using this for a lot of like on my T-shirts and stuff in the very beginning. So very nice pictures of Mia there, Dangayo. Okay, so again, a lot of conceptual pictures that was definitely used in all the art, in the covers and whatnot for the DVD covers, VHS covers, right? Because they had 3 volumes for that, and so different characters and whatnot. Just incredible drawings and that kind of stuff for this series. Then he also does Ixir 1. So again, another one of the very first OVAs that came out, really, really popular. He's really, you can tell by his distinctive eye style. Very, very Mickey Moto-ish. Just the way how he draws out the eyes in the roundest fashion. Some SD stuff to kind of goof around with, because again, he's going to go on to make Ixir 3. So definitely lots of really nice pictures for that. Both my manga style and whatnot. Okay. So more pictures for Ixir 1 there. Plus some of the covers that he used in that. He also did like Ixir 3, of course. So some of the artwork they get that one. He also did the Cosmos Pink Shock. Again, this is a no plot sort of cool anime that they did. Really nice art design. He does a couple pictures for Megazone 23. Again, very, very, copies of the Mickey Moto style very, very well. And follows through that. And of course, he also does a little bit of Tobi Kage, which is the really nice sort of artwork that he does there. And, again, familiar style too, right? So, and then of course the back part is how they actually draw the characters and that kind of stuff, different angles, and how the hair and the clothing and that kind of stuff are all drawn. So it's just gives you all these different angles and how they did all the various different sort of characters and whatnot. So yeah, he does a really good job with this stuff. And again, this is one of my very first art books I ever picked up, and I really, really loved this kind of stuff that he did. Again, there you go, the Toshiro Hirano Character Works. The next one is the Neon Genesis Evangelion E-Mono book, okay? Now this book is kind of interesting because it basically is a book that covers all the various different merchandise available for Neon Genesis Evangelion. So here's a nice sort of computer picture of that. Secondary picture. But what it does is it goes over all the different goods. So it starts off with different things like arcade prizes. So these are things that you'd get in those gacha machines. And here's a whole bunch of different pictures and that kind of stuff that comes from the gaming stuff. Here are so much of the kits and whatnot. So again, the models and the little plush figures and that kind of stuff that they have for them. Little things that they get off of the gacha machines and whatnot. And kits of that nature. Accessories and that kind of stuff. This is the listing of all the different videos and laser discs available. Okay, and so you can see all the DVDs, the CD-ROMs, and that kind of stuff. So again, if you try to collect all the Neon Genesis stuff, this is a good way to find out if you've got everything, and if there's missing something, then you've got the code numbers and stuff available. So, for example, if you're collecting the books, okay, and then you kind of go through your collection, going, hey, wait a minute, I don't recognize that one. You see, all the information, the yen price, and the code numbers are all written below it, so that way you're able to order that in. Okay, again, just like as I mentioned, the 100% new type made a version of this particular thing. So again, if you liked what you saw in the Heavy Metal L-Gaim book, then you can expect the same kind of thing with this book here on the Neon Genesis Evangelion, right? So that's a good way to kind of go through the different things. It helps with character goods. So here's a variety of different official T-shirts and that stuff. The Neon Genesis Evangelion bag. There's caps. All right, keychains and whatnot. There's there you go. The nerve knife there. There you go. So computer goods, including things like mouse and mouse pads, cups, mugs. There's a nerve fan and chairs. Okay. So just a whole wide range. There's a set of clocks and stuff, calendars available for this thing. So again, a wide. There's tapestries and posters. So again, if you're really interested in different posters and that kind of stuff for Neon Genesis Evangelion, there you go. There's lots of different things like that, and these are things that covers the death and rebirth. Okay. There's a huge section of collectible cards. Plus, it also highlights the shinies in each of the sets. So again, if you're collecting them, and you're trying to figure out which ones you're missing, then this will give you the guide to which are the hardest to get cards in each of the different sets. So if you've got the rarest cards or not in your set. So again, these are all the different sort of cards and things available for that. So you can make sure that whether or not you've got everything complete or not, right? Okay, and then these are the super rare items, the Emono items here. Okay, and so a lot of the promotional stuff that was available through the magazines. So for example, cards and that kind of stuff that came in where you had the write into New Type magazine, posters and that kind of stuff, promotional handouts and that kind of stuff that they give out to like an Animate store and that kind of stuff, and you would pick them up at the store there. Things like that, limited edition T-shirts, and other really cool promotional stuff. There's a Genesis Evangelion watch, kind of cell phone kind of thing and whatnot as well, and watches and that kind of stuff. So again, a nice little kind of book to basically check on how much Evangelion merchandise you actually have collected. So again, this is the Neon Genesis Evangelion E-Mono book. The next one is the Blasty, the Art of Cruise Chaser Blasty. Okay, so this is a sort of a conceptual series released from Hobby Japan. Okay, kind of a Gundam sort of offshoot type of thing, right? And basically the idea is that they decided to build a small little model kit sort of series, right? And it's kind of a little bit Gundam Zeta type of thing, maybe even maybe like mixed in with a kind of like a shooting game kind of thing, so very virtual on looking like type of thing. And so they basically, designed a bunch of, robots and kits and that kind of stuff. They used what they call FX design to them, and made some, different sort of conceptual ideas for them, like Gundam FX is, and tried to build a story around that kind of a concept using these kits and that kind of stuff. And they actually spent a long time actually trying to get all the little stories and that kind of stuff. They have actually planned out an environment. Even came up with a series of different characters and that kind of stuff. You may note that this the way that the characters are drawn is the same guy who does Ariel. So so they had a story all thought out and written out kind of idea that they would kind of work on. All illustrated and different sort of side stories. That a full illustration gallery. So again, you can tell that that same kind of illustration drawing that is the same that is done in Ariel, and really nice, kind of really like conceptual drawings and that kind of stuff for them. They did a lot of that kind of stuff, and they also did a lot of work with the characters, with the photograph sort of thing. They even started selling out the sort of the story and the lines for that. Okay. How the construction of that, so like most Hobby Japan magazines, it kind of goes over how the process of construction and that kind of stuff is done on some of these kits. But again, what had happened is that they made this all conceptually and that stuff, but they never ended up actually making an anime for that, which is kind of unfortunate because this might have been a really, really good sort of a concept thing for it. So again, probably one of the hard things that you can run across, but you never really know enough about. I guess this is sort of same as Gaiga Gear, I guess. So here, story for Cruise Chaser Blasty. Alright, so I hope you all enjoyed that, having a little sneak peek at some of these art books that were really, really valuable to us, in the early days, because this is sort of the only way that we got, the artwork and the inside information on a lot of these animes that we follow, because again, the internet is not the way it was, and even trying to get high resolution pictures and images and that and whatnot was next to impossible without the use of these kind of books. So again, I hope you found that really insightful. Stay tuned for some more cool things from the archives. Alright? So until next time, I will see you again.